Pretoria has heard about how a senior police officer, Major General Shadrack Sibiya, who was fired in 2015, continued to be part of the investigation into the murder of former Orlando Pirates goalkeeper Senzo Meyiwa. Now, Sibiya, who has previously denied being part of the Meyiwa murder case's investigating team, was fired in 2015 before he was reinstated in 2022 and promoted to the position of National Deputy Police Commissioner. This after winning his legal bid in the Labour Court. However, State Witness Sizwe Zungu has told the court about a meeting he attended with Sibiya and Major General Vincent Lishabane in 2019, where the discussions centered around the five accused of possible involvement in the murder. Let's now speak to SABC News reporter Sipho Ngegana, who's been watching this particular case in court. Sipho, this is quite an interesting turn, especially when you see what's happening.
Yes, you are right, Bongiwe. The State Witness has now placed Sibiya right at the heart of this investigation that has now placed all the five accused at the scene of Senzo Meyiwa in Coastal Ras on that night that the former Bafana captain was shot and killed. So Zungu says that while Warrant Officer Mapubo and Colonel Joyce Buthelezi rejected his version, Sibiya was among the top police officials who accepted that particular version. Let's take a listen.
You say that present at that meeting with Lishabane was also General Sibiya present, correct?
Yes.
And you state that at the time, General Sibiya was the head of works in Gauteng, correct?
I was informed by the general that he was the head of the works.
Now, if I inform you that at the time of this meeting, that is in 2019, General Sibiya was fired from, at the time he was already fired from the SAPS. He was only reinstated in 2020.
I heard that thereafter.
So in essence, at the time of this meeting, Sibiya, who's also interested in this matter, was a civilian. He was not an officer of SAPS, correct?
Yes.
And you say that him, Sibiya, told you that the information that you had relayed to the police was correct and accurate, correct?
Yes.
Now, as a civilian, how will you have known that information is correct?
I wouldn't know as to how he got to know, but what I knew at the time was that he was a police officer.
So, Bongiwe, that
Hello, people. What are we saying here? What are we facing? It's the evidence of Zungu during his testimony in September 2023. Constable Zungu has gone out and confirmed that as part of his of the investigation, amongst the people that were called to interview him or to corroborate his information was General Sibiya. This could have happened in 2019. This is very strange because in 2019, General Sibiya was not employed by SAPS. Now, if we go back to the newspapers, in 2018, General Sibiya demanded or voiced his interest to be involved in the investigation of the Senzo Meyiwa case. He even pledged that he will assist with solving the case. That is in 2018, February. Now, fast forward exactly a year later, because Zungu says he started communicating with the police sometimes in 2019. So, in that November 2019, Zungu says he was called in a meeting where in that meeting there was General Lishabane, amongst other people that that were called by General Lishabane, was General Sibia. So during that meeting, General Sibia then asked, who is the person that has been allocated to this case on the head office? That's when the name of Brigadier Gininda it gets to be introduced. That's around towards the end of 2019. Now, after that meeting, then General Sithole, who's the National Commissioner, then facilitated a meeting between between Brigadier Gininda as well as Mr. Perumal. I'm not sure whether I was a colonel or brigadier at that time. Perumal went and met up with Constable Zungu somewhere in Kempton Park. But I need us to pay attention to this information. 2018, General Sibia is not employed by SAPS. Now he goes to media and makes an interview. Then 2019, Constable Zungu emerged now to become a key eyewitness of the 5 accused person whom he says that he may have observed them, he may have seen them when they're coming from the crime scene, when they're coming from executing the deed. Now, when we put all these facts that were before the court, we now know that Constable Zungu, not that the judge agrees with him, but we now know that a civilian who is the first person that was amongst the first people that arrived on the crime scene in 2014, whom in this instance is General Sibia, has confirmed that Zungu's sequence of events is correct according to him. Now, over and above that, we're going to hear further on the clip how does Judge Rata actually support a narrative or how he entertained Zungu's evidence.
Which would reveal more inconsistencies with his evidence. The defense contended that the witness had made mention of a handwritten statement which he had initialized and had been commissioned, which he says he used when he made the final statement, which was read out in court. Well, Gogiwe, this is about the night that Zungu says he saw all these 5 accused people returning back to the hotel in Vosloorus at about 9 in the evening carrying guns, an incident which he says it would later dawn on him that the accused could have been returning from the killing of the former Orlando Pirates goalkeeper. So Judge Rata Mokwateng, they're saying the court viewed these accusations against the state prosecutor in serious light, but did not believe that Baloyi would, at the risk of his own career as a prosecutor, not disclose such information. Let's take a listen.
Every prosecutor in this country knows that he has to disclose the documents on which the case of the state is based on. And I don't believe that Mr. Baloyi can risk the entire career he has built up over years as a senior advocate. I don't know what he would gain, because it is not a duty of a prosecutor, he is not an instructed counsel to defend or act as an attorney or advocate of a witness in a case. The duty of a prosecutor is to present the case of the prosecution to the court for it to adjudicate.
So despite what the witness says are mistakes with the names of the accused in relation to the events that took place on that evening, Zungu has maintained his version as true and that all those 5 accused were in fact in Vosloorus on that night. Advocate Charles Mnisi-Bongiwe will continue with his cross-examination of the witness when court resumes tomorrow morning.
And
Thank you guys for listening to that. Now, we've just mentioned that Sibiya agreed with Zungu's version of event. Now, in that clip, we are learning that Judge Rata also protected Zungu in terms of stopping the court from playing record where Zungu confirms that he had a written statement. This will also make sense because he says that he had written statement and he initialed it. Now, in that statement, if he said he had that and the prosecutor, Baloyi, did not produce all the evidence to the defense, that now will be unprocedural. Hence now, Rata now goes in the arena to defend now Baloyi, that indeed Baloyi did not have that. If he had the written statement, what would have been the interest of Baloyi to actually hide that statement from the defense? Now, this is very strange because now we are seeing that Constable Zungu had enjoyed the protection of the prosecutor, in this instance, Advocate Baloyi, because Advocate Baloyi also did not stand up and say, I also heard on record that Zungu did say that he had written a handwritten statement, but then I've only received a typed statement and commissioned by Brigadier Kininda. Maybe to open that inquiry, we'll then ask Brigadier Kininda how many statements did he receive from Zungu. Now, for a court to first stop the record from being played so that the witness can actually explain himself, what did he mean by that? Well, we further know that during that time, Zungu was given time to actually go to KwaNongoma to go and look for so-called written statement. Then the court adjourned for that process. Now, if we were to do maths, I'm going to take you on a simple maths theory, which is called common denominator. What do we have here? We have a constable, which is Constable Zungu. He is protected. His information is protected, firstly, by General Sibiya, who says that information that Zungu said in his statement is true and correct. Again, Zungu is a common denominator. Now we have Rata. Judge Rata goes on, and we further know this because he had also had a judgment on accused number 4 on his application for 174, that he even believes Zungu that it's normal for a witness to mix up names. He even goes on and says that Zungu did not have a written statement. He further goes on and say that there is no need for the defense to request a record to be played of Zungu's utterances with regards to a written statement. So what is the court doing? The court has descended to an arena to protect which witness? Zungu, common denominator. Zungu enjoys the protection of the court. Advocate Baloyi, we now know that because it's the witness that as NPA that they brought before the court, it means that he, as an advocate or as a prosecutor, a seasoned prosecutor, has listened to Zungu's evidence and he has tested it, and he believes that Zungu's evidence is true. Even though Zungu in his statements make utterances that are unpalatable, utterances like on a Sunday in 2014, that you can go to a bottle store and purchase liquor. According to South African law, we have stressed this in several times, and according to South African law, there was no liquor shop that was authorized to actually to sell alcohol at the time. Even to be specific, no Tops, which is a franchise of Spar, that was allowed to actually sell liquor on a Sunday, at least on the 26th of October 2014. That is a lie. So now the prosecutor has failed to authenticate or to validate certain key information that relates to this witness. So who is the witness that now being protected? Zuma again. So we then see that both key people with General Sibiya, Judge Rata, and Advocate Baloyi have joined Brigadier Gininda in trusting and protecting and preserving the lies that Zungu Constable has been advancing with relating to this case. What then do we need to say about this? It takes me back to a court proceedings where Mngomezulu lost his temper and says that this continuation of a judge of being impatient with the defense and of being quickly dismissing anything that the defense is saying, it is tantamount to colluding with the state, because we've seen the judge in several instances that the judge has not held the state to account on a very obvious incident that have taken place in court. Now, Advocate Mngomezulu said the court was colluding with the state. Therefore, when we see the involvement of General Sibiya, we see the involvement of the descendant of the judge to the arena, and the protection of where the prosecutor Baloyi has protected a Constable Zungu, as well as the lead investigator, how he has actually trusted the lies that Zungu have actually said about the 5 accused persons. That is such amount to a cooking, a fabrication of evidence. But then, what then do we see? Because General Sibiya was a civilian at the time. Did Sibiya had so much influence over the court, the NPA, and the SAPS? Well, I will beg to differ on that. I know, guys, that you don't expect me to actually differ on that, but I can tell you that this could have been an orchestrated sequence of events by Advocate Baloyi, because Advocate Baloyi, we know that at least during this time, Advocate Baloyi has been prosecuting General Sibiya, General Dramat, and Lieutenant Cowboy on the Zimbabwe rendition matter. Now, will this be a quick way for them to actually deal with this matter, where Advocate Baloyi will hit 2 birds with 1 stone? Well, that's a possibility, but this is purely my own opinion as an analyst, because I go further on and say, we now heard from Advocate Defu, there's certain utterances that he has mentioned that involve Advocate Baloyi. There's an incident of a firearm which involve Advocate Baloyi's son in 2004. We've since heard that Advocate therefore has followed up on the case. He learned that a 38 special was used there, as well as that the case appears to have not been investigated. This incident will have taken place in Gauteng, and who will have been the head of investigating the case in Gauteng? It will have been General Sibiya. Could it be that, on the other hand, Baloyi could have been compromised? Because I have researched most of defense lawyers that have faced Baloyi, they hold Baloyi in highest regard as a person of integrity. They are shocked with this version of Advocate Baloyi that is coming out on the Senzo Meyiwa case. These are some things as an analyst that we need to do research on. We don't just bash a person for the sake of doing that, but then we need to bring information that is out there for people who have faced Advocate Baloyi and says, you know what, he looks like a true prosecutor that was not afraid to be on the other side of the media. We've also seen that Advocate Baloyi has also been badged by Paul O'Sullivan, but he remained firm on his pursuit of being a prosecutor. Now, what also do we have here on the actors that are involved in the Senzo Meyiwa case? We also need to look at who was supporting the rendition case. Yes, it is George Baloyi. That case was being held against General Sibiya. But when was General Sibiya cleared on the case? General Sibiya only gets cleared on the 24th of July 2024, where both General Dramati and General Sibiya were cleared, and then Colonel Cowboy was given a suspended sentence, was convicted for 5 years, but the sentence was suspended. But indeed, in that proceedings on the High Court, again, Baloyi wanted an imprisonment for that colonel. So it does show that there is consistency from Advocate Baloyi's of him being a prosecutor. Now, what is then different on Baloyi in the Senzo Meyiwa case? Could it be now that, is it because General Sibiya has the upper hand of him being a deputy national commissioner at the time, and he holds the power of resuscitating the investigation on the firearm that is involved in Baloyi's case of 2004? Or is it because now Advocate Defu has something against Sibiya? Now, Baloyi has information that in this Senzo Meyiwa case that will bring down Advocate Defu. So therefore, the Advocate Baloyi and General Sibiya may have found alliance, which now the common person is to make sure that Defu doesn't come near or close to the Senzo Meyiwa case. But then what about the lead investigator in this instance? Brigadier Gininda, I've done my own research. I have since learned that at least 2 of the attorneys that have represented the defense have come face to face with Gininda in court. That will have been Ngomezulu and Ramsipil. And I believe that most of them were successfully able to defend their clients. Their clients will have been who? The police officers that Brigadier Gininda may have wanted to charge them for defeating the ends of justice case. Now, we also know that at some point, Brigadier Kininda had approached the former lawyer by the name of Titi Toban that he wants dance. They can give him dance. So this is very important for us to understand when we're analyzing this case, that there is clear an element of collusion between the investigators, the prosecutors, and I'm scared to say the court. But with Ratha's behavior in this case, I'm left with no choice but to include the court in this instance. Fast forward to what we observed in the past week on the Madlanga Commission. We're being told that whenever a team needs to fast track the cases that have not been resolved, an integrated task team is formed where it investigates the police, the prosecutors, and the court. Could it be that Senzomiwa case was just a trial for a cold case unit to join these three spheres, which is the police, the court, and NPA, to solve the unsolvable cases? Or the additional or the involvement of General Sibiya has disturbed that, because maybe NPA was not prepared to work around with General Sibiya. South Africa, this is just my honest analysis on the Senzomiwa case. And it's very important then, whenever we look at the evidence, we need to bear in mind that technically and information that we've gathered on the internet from other witnesses, we have confirmed, even from his father, like Constable Zungu's father, Absalom Zungu, that indeed his son may have misled the court. And furthermore, Constable Absalom Zungu has also confirmed under oath that Brigadier Kininda have lied in court when he says that he has given him the statement. So this whole clip, I was trying to point out that there is a perfect storm where both arms of government have colluded against to frame the 5 accused persons. This is my fair and honest opinion. I invite you guys to actually challenge me on that. I thank you.